Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm doing a review on the brand new Gemini 1 and 2 palette from Melt Cosmetics. I'm going to be doing my thoughts, review, some information about these palettes, swatches, and of course a tutorial. So if you want to know more about these eyeshadow palettes, then definitely keep on watching. So these two palettes retail for $58 each. You can get the bundle deal for I think $100. I did snag these during a sale that Melt was having out of the blue. They had 20% off the entire website, including these two new palettes, which I was really surprised. Usually new items don't get that discount, so I got both palettes for $40 each, total of 80 bucks. That was actually a really good deal because again, $58 a piece. That definitely adds up. So we have the Gemini original OG revamped, and it says on the Melt website, Gemini eyeshadow palette is back by popular demand in sleek new packaging. Your favorite 10 bold pigmented shades in matte and metallic textures, soft warm neutrals, and cool olive tones to satisfy every mood. So the packaging is definitely a bit different than the original from I remember. I'm sorry I don't have the original palette here. I feel like every time I tried to purchase the Gemini palette, it was either sold out or maybe it was wasn't during a sale and I wanted to wait until it was on sale, and then I think they discontinued it, but so many people have asked them to bring it back and so they did. The packaging on here is breathtaking. When I tell you, when I opened this for the first time, if you guys saw my little post on Instagram and TikTok, I did a live unboxing video and my heart just skipped a beat because the packaging on here is stunning. Even the outer box packaging is this beautiful soft green, and where it says Gemini on the front, it's this holographic, really reflective lettering. Beautiful roses and all these blushy, warm brown and peach tones as well. And the size of these eyeshadow palettes is very similar to the Rust and the 27 palette. Same kind of packaging, cardboard material. So you get 10 beautiful eyeshadows. All of them are matte except for the shade Gemini and Goals. These are such beautiful, rich shades. They swatched so lovely. I love this kind of mustard colors and the olive pukey kind of pea green shades. Like, this palette just speaks to my makeup soul. It's absolutely stunning. Moving on to the Gemini 2 palette, again, same kind of layout, beautiful roses. On this one, it has more of that dark wine background and beautiful pink roses in the leaves and the thorns, and you turn it over and again that print kind of continues over on the back of the palette. And again, 10 eyeshadows and 2 shimmers. So Schmood and Mateo are both kind of that satin shimmery finish. Again, I really like that formula from Melt. And this palette definitely screams kind of like soft, romantic, very sultry colors, very like wine, pinky toned. And then you also have those little pops of olive green in here as well. On the website, it says she's feeling feisty and not in the mood. Gemini 2 eyeshadow palette has 10 brand new shades of matte textures with a dab of shimmer. Rich, sultry rose tones you can blend impeccably with deep wines and moss tones. You never know what side you're gonna get. She's soft and edgy at the same time. So I want to talk about the palettes and the formula. Let's talk about the Gemini 2 palette. In terms of formula, these performed beautifully. I used almost every single shade, and I will pop up the picture of the look that I did with this palette. And I also did a little mini tutorial if you guys want to check it out on TikTok or Instagram. The mattes performed beautifully. You have a nice mixture of transition colors, mid-tone colors, and I feel like LX Queen, Boy Mom, and Lovesick are nice, deep, rich colors where you can deepen up the outer corner and really give a nice contrast to the eye look you're going to do. And I feel like all of these colors blend so beautifully into each other, and that's what I love about Melt's matte formula. They blend like a dream. It reminds me of the same Melt formula from their other previous palettes that I love and enjoy and use all the time. I wore Schmood all over my lid yesterday. None of the shades creased. They all stayed put all day long. The colors did not fade. So again, performed amazingly well, just like all of my other Melt palettes. Longevity was fantastic, no creasing, none of that, no fallout onto my eyes at all. So I was very, very impressed by this palette. The only downside is that unfortunately Melt, for some reason, I don't know why, there is bismuth oxychloride in every single shade in this palette. Now Melt never usually uses that ingredient. It is something new. I'm not sure why they're doing that. I hope that's not what they're doing for future palettes, because I personally am sensitive to that ingredient. And I did notice at the end of the night when I took my eye makeup off, my eyelids were very red and irritated. So I'm gonna have to be careful when I go about using this palette again in the future. But overall, I think this is stunning. It's beautiful. I like every single color in here. And I never thought I would like, you know, the greens with like the maroon rich reds, kind of like wine tones in here. You got these like really soft peachy pinks. Like, I don't know how, but they all just work together in harmony and it's beautiful. I feel like this palette is giving me grungy, romantic, sexy vibes. Like, I just love this palette so much. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, overall, 10 out of 10, huge thumbs up. All right, let's talk about the formula on the Gemini 1 palette. Now, I'm sorry to report, I do not have the original, so I'm so sorry. I can't compare the quality. Is it the same? Is it improved? All I can do is give you guys my assessment on other palettes I've tried from Melt and my thoughts on this one. So, once again, this palette is mostly predominantly matte shades. You do have two, I believe they are the chunky foiled because they definitely feel like it. So Gemini and Goals are the only like metallic shades in here. Different formula than the Gemini 2. And I've mentioned this before, but the Smoke Sessions palette, if you're familiar with the shimmers in here, the metallics, they are chunky, flaky, crumbly, and that you will get so much fallout. And unfortunately, I've noticed with Goals on my eyelid today, I've only had it on my eyes for a couple of hours or so, and I'm noticing that I'm getting, I don't know if you can see, I've got some green shadow on my upper lip. I hope you can see that. I am getting some fallout around my eyes, and I haven't touched my eyelid. I haven't rubbed my eyes or anything. I've blinked. I've been blinking, but I haven't like actually physically touched my eye makeup. Not a big fan of that. I had a feeling that probably Gemini I wouldn't like, and it is. Do you see the texture? It's very crumbly. It's definitely very flaky. I would say Gemini is more flaky than Goals, but Goals is starting to crumble a bit. So if the original Gemini palette was like that as well, I would say that this is a fail in terms of updating the quality and making it better. They definitely need to work on their metallic, I don't know if it's called their metallic or foiled, but it's not their like basic shimmer shadow. It's the like the metallic ones. They definitely need to improve the formula. It's just so chunky and flaky and just not the easiest to work with. So I mean, I did use a glitter glue today for this eye look. I used the one from Glam Goth Beauty and it did help. In terms of the mattes, they blended so beautifully. Again, same formula that I remember from the Gemini 2. Very similar formula with the mattes. Now, I did swatch these next to some other palettes I have. I honestly don't have anything to compare the Gemini 2 palette to, so I'm sorry I didn't really compare it to anything else. But the Gemini 1, I did swatch it next to the Rust palette, and I did swatch the Smoke Sessions palette because I felt like there were some shades in there that were kind of similar, but pretty much I would say there's no repeat shades. Now, obviously, you can see where Melt is going with the sort of color story. They do a lot of greens, a lot of mustard yellows in quite a few of their palettes. I love those tones. The Rust palette is probably one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes from Melt ever. I just love every single shade in here. I have done a full review if you guys are curious, and it is still available on their website. Definitely would highly recommend this one. It's one of my favorites. So if you guys want to see how I did this look right here using Gemini 1, keep on watching and let's get into the tutorial. Alright, so let's start with look number 1. I'm going to use the Gemini 1 palette, the OG. I already primed my eyes and let's get started. I'm taking this mustard yellow color and applying that all throughout my crease. really making sure to blend that really high. And then I'm taking this darker shade Polka Dot to intensify the look. I'm really focusing this on my crease and a little bit on the outer V corner, really slowly blending and building that color up. I'm also applying that same transition color to the lower lash line all along as a base. And then dipping into Fire OG, this beautiful pukey green, and then taking Leo, the darker green, in my outer V area. And these colors just blended so nicely together. I was really nervous using the green like that. Taking the lightest matte shade in the palette to highlight the brow bone. I tried to use it as an inner corner highlight, but it was too dark for my skin tone. Next, I'm going to apply a sticky base and take Goals on half of my lid and then Gemini on the inner half. Both of these are very, very chunky and flaky, so definitely using a sticky primer helps a lot. Just going back through, doing a final blend, adding a green liner to my waterline. Again, all the products will be linked down below, you guys. And then taking Bonnie, which is the matte black, and using it as a liner. I did get a little bit of fallout with that one. And then I'm taking this golden highlight as my inner corner highlighter. Lashes and mascara to finish off the look. And I love how this turned out. Very kind of giving me leprechaun vibes, but I am so down for it. I love a good green look. All right, let's move on to look number 2 using the new Gemini 2 palette. This palette is gorgeous. I'm taking Ladylike. I'm going to apply that all throughout my crease as a transition color. And these just blended like a dream, you guys. Oh my gosh. Next, I'm taking Sweetheart to deepen up that crease. Just taking my time and blending. And these just blend into each other so nicely. Taking Lovesick as my dark deepening shade to my outer V. And just really adding a nice depth and contrast to this look. And then for the lid, I thought I would take the lightest matte shade, which is Bella. Oh my god, this color, you guys, was so pigmented. I mean, look at that coverage. Again, just going through and blending one final time. And now for the green shades, I'm taking Almond Eyes, applying that all along the lower lash line. And you know the drill, taking Boy Mom and just applying that really close to the lower lashes to add a nice smoky effect. I took this purple liner from Flower Beauty, applied it to my waterline, inner corner. I'm using this BH palette once again because there's so many beautiful different shades of highlight in here. So I used the pinky toned one. For liner, I took this beautiful purple liner from the Balm Cosmetics and it turned out so nice. Again, lashes and mascara. And here's the final look. Leave a comment down below. Tell me which look is your favorite. I think this is definitely mine. So that's it, you guys. It completes the 2 looks I did with each palette. I hope you found that helpful to just sort of see them in action. I am filming this outro on a different day because my eyelids are very sensitive. It's really hard for me to do 2 looks in one day for a video. So my final thoughts on these 2 palettes, I have to say, I think Gemini 2 is really winning me over. This is the second look I've done with this palette and I love how this look turned out today. I am so in love with these blushy tones. Gemini 2 is limited edition. Melt, please make this permanent. I do still like the Gemini 1 palette, and again, I've only used it one time. I'm just really disappointed with the shimmers in here. I wish that they were just their standard basic shimmer formula, or they would improve their metallic formula. I know the Sephora sale is going to be over by the time I post this video, but would I recommend these palettes? I would say it depends. I mean, if you don't have any sort of rosy, kind of like wine type colors, if you don't have a palette with this color story, I say yes. I would 100% recommend this palette. I love every single shade in here. I love how they blend together like a dream. This is definitely my favorite out of the 2 palettes for sure. Like the more I use this, the more I'm just falling in love. And I love how this look turned out today. So different too. I don't normally do these kind of peachy, blushy tones with like green on the bottoms. Very different for me, but I have to say Melt is turning me into a fan of like those kind of wine berry colors. I know there's a lot of like red tone, berry tone eyeshadows. ABH has a lot of them. I know a lot of the Huda Beauty palettes have a lot of like pinky red tones in there. So again, it's nothing new. I mean, we've seen this sort of color story before, but for me, I feel like it's definitely unique in the way they blend together and the depth in this palette. It's very vampy, romantic, very sexy and sultry. Like both of these palettes are very, very dark. Do you need both of these? Probably not. I mean, they're $58 each, so I would definitely wait for a sale, but I would 100% recommend the Gemini 2 over this one, just because I'm loving this one so much more. This one is still going to be, you know, I'm still going to love this one. I just may not reach for that Gemini shade because it is so crumbly and chunky, but I love these kind of mustard green tones in here. And if you already have this palette and you want like a sister palette, I feel like these two together would actually work nicely. And also with the other Melt palettes, you can mix and match, and I feel like a lot of these, like the Rust palette, I can see using it with the Gemini 1 palette and, you know, kind of mixing and matching and just having fun and playing with the other palettes that Melt has in their collections. That's it, you guys. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe. If you are new, make sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss uploads every week. I try to post on Tuesdays and Fridays. If I'm not on here, you can definitely follow me on TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. I also did another look with this palette over on TikTok and Instagram, so definitely go check it out if you want to see the other look I did with this palette. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and make sure to check out the description box. I will have these palettes and everything that I'm wearing linked down below, so make sure to check that out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.